they had a pork chop hill that most of the fighting went on. And it really was a big mountain, the biggest mountain that they had there. I come along right after that with a prisoner, and then a shell lit in front of us, knocked it, and I jumped out of the Jeep.
In the post-war boom of the Second World War, America was far from being the isolationist nation they were just years prior. The United States had become a world power, and jobs for the average citizen had a major breakthrough. Jobs like a truck bodybuilder, which one was occupied by Aiken, Minnesota native Rayburn Roland Anderson. Born on June 14, 1928 to Herbert and Alice Anderson, Rayburn had two siblings and he grew up in the Aiken area of Minnesota. In June of 1950, North Korean forces were in full swing for the invasion of South Korea by crossing the 38th parallel on the 25th. 2 days later, President Harry Truman announced support for the South Koreans to combat communism, calling all American units currently deployed in the Pacific region to be trained and shipped to Korea. With the rising tide of enlisted men stateside joining the war effort, Rayburn was eventually drafted for service in the United States Army.
See, it was 2 years. You were drafted for 2 years. But then I had to go to school to learn everything about the tanks and the mechanics and stuff like that.
For his training and experience in mechanics, he was assigned to the United States Ordnance Corps under the outfit of the 461st Ordnance Ammunition Company, under the command of the 5th Army. His unit was designated to maintain supply depots and transport munitions while in country. He was sent to a multitude of camps for his training, being sent on a troop train to Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri, where he reportedly worked a 72-hour shift of KP duty. Next, he was on to Camp Atterbury in Indiana to continue basic training. Then he was shipped to Fort Knox in Kentucky for tank mechanics, and finally to Fort Riley in Kansas for auto mechanics, all in a matter of many months. Once the 461st had arrived in Korea, they took a train up to the mountainside town called Wonju, where they took over an ammunition depot relieving the previous company who had occupied the station. Wonju would now be the home for the duration of Rayburn's service. An ammunition depot, or ammo dump, was a station where munitions for the front lines were stored and eventually transported. Even though their job was to maintain supplies and ammunition, it wasn't always easy. However, to help their side of the effort, many members of the 461st had asked for the South Koreans to aid in their work, which many did, including one boy who was adopted into the unit for work. nicknamed Junior.
Well, the best thing I remember is when we got rid of the little things we used to eat out of. That's all we ate out of, you know. They come in the wintertime and they come in and cook a meal for us. Give us our plates like this. And we had steel plates, that wasn't wrong. Then you had to go down to get your coffee and get something. By the time you got down, it was frozen solid.
Although he never saw combat during his time in Korea, there was one particular moment that remained with him for the rest of his life.
They had a pork chop hill that most of the fighting went on. It really was a big mountain, the biggest mountain that they had there. And they went up 4 times and knocked the gooks off, and the gooks come back and knocked them off, and then the 5th time they went up and then they stayed. Because we had an outfit up there too, we had tanks up there, and I come along right after that with a prisoner, and another kid was alongside of me. That's helped me take the prisoner in. Then a shell lit in front of us, knocked it, and I jumped out of the Jeep. I jumped into the shell crater. Didn't know there was one there. I jumped in the shell crater. I think something was happening upstairs, but it did touch me. And of course, you learn over there, and take your hand and you feel your whole body and find where the blood's coming out. How fast is it coming out? If it's coming out fast, we'll say them in prayers, and if it's just coming out a little bit, try to stop it and that type of stuff. You want to know that shit. I was only a little over a year or something like that.
After spending 9 months and 26 days overseas, Rayburn finally returned home to his family, mainly his wife, Muriel, who had remained in contact with him through many letters.
And it's another crap that went on there. You can't be around shit like that without getting kind of serious. But I'm just lucky.